What started bad and got worse and kept getting worse. For weeks, my daughter Mari had terrible stomach pain. Yay, kids' stomachs be hurting sometimes, but this was different. She was 8 years old and throwing up multiple times a day. Sometimes morning, sometimes afternoon, sometimes right before bed. I took her to our pediatrician 4 times. Each visit, same response. It's probably a stomach bug, they said. Maybe she's developing food sensitivities. They gave us antacids, told her to eat bland foods, and sent us home. But the vomiting kept getting worse and more violent. One Tuesday afternoon, Mari threw up blood in the school nurse's office. Her teacher called me in a panic, and I rushed over immediately. The nurse had already called an ambulance. At the hospital, they ran every test imaginable. Blood work, ultrasound, even an endoscopy. Nothing abnormal, they said. Just some irritation in her stomach lining. Give her bland foods for a few days. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about the pattern. She only got sick on school days. I checked my calendar and realized she'd been sick every single school day for 3 weeks straight. I started writing everything down. Breakfast at home, fine. Dinner at home, fine. Lunch at school, violently ill. I called 3 other moms from Mari's class. All 3 said their kids had been having stomach problems too. Same pattern, same timing. One mom mentioned her son had lost 15 pounds in a month. The school kept insisting their kitchen was perfectly clean and the food was fresh. So I did something desperate. I pulled Mari out of school for a week and packed her lunch every day. No stomach pain, not once. The day she went back and ate school lunch, she was in the bathroom within an hour. I bought a food testing kit online, one of those expensive ones that checks for bacteria and toxins. The next day, I had Mari bring me a sample of the school meatloaf in a plastic bag. I ran the test at home. The device started flashing warnings immediately. The screen showed contamination levels that were off the charts. When I called the kit manufacturer for help understanding the results, the technician went silent. That's formaldehyde. These levels could cause organ damage. Don't let anyone eat this. Call the health department immediately. I pulled Mari out of school that same day and called the health department. They arrived the next morning with a full investigation team. They shut down the cafeteria and started testing everything. Every single meat product tested positive for formaldehyde traces. The investigators traced the meat delivery trucks, followed the supply chain back to a warehouse on the outskirts of town. When they entered, the terrible smell hit them first of rotten meat. The concrete floors were stained dark brown with old blood and other fluids that had leaked from torn bags. Flies covered everything. In the back freezers, they found meat stored in the same containers used for medical specimens. Some packages still had labels with dates from 3 years ago. The refrigeration units were barely working, dripping rusty water onto open containers below. Everything was coated in a thick layer of grease and mold. The health department immediately recalled all meat from every school in the district. Within days, Mari's stomach problems vanished, but the disaster was far from over. While cleaning out Mari's backpack, I found something strange. It was a crumpled receipt that must have fallen out of a lunch tray. The receipt wasn't from a food company. It was from a medical supply company, dated 3 months ago. The items listed made me sick. It said things like preserved specimens for teaching and demonstration samples for medical training. There was even a line that said expired fetal pig specimens, bulk discount applied. The meat was from dead animals that medical students practice on. I searched up the company online. They sold preserved dead animals and body parts to medical schools for students to cut open and study. The address was the same warehouse the health department had raided. The food company was a complete cover-up. The same people selling dead preserved animals to hospitals were selling meat to our schools. The detective I spoke with went pale as he read through my evidence. He made phone calls and discovered this wasn't just one school. 14 districts were buying from them across 3 states. They'd been doing this for 6 years. The owner used to run a medical waste company until he lost his license. Instead of throwing away old specimens like he was supposed to, he was selling them to schools as food. The investigation found fake health papers and inspectors who were paid to look the other way. 3 school board members were getting money under the table. The school's own principal knew everything that was happening but stayed quiet because the meat was so cheap. Our principal and 7 others got 25 to life.